Good evening and welcome back to 31 Horror Nights. It's October 12th and tonight's movie is The Dark Tapes. Fun fact, I was not supposed to be watching this movie today. I didn't even plan on watching the movie this month. The movie I was supposed to be watching today was Long Pigs from 2007, but I can't find a place to watch it online. It's not on Amazon, it's not on YouTube, and I can't find a website that would play it that doesn't look like it would immediately give me a virus, so I had to scrap that idea. Then I tried watching the movie Death of a Ghost Hunter because I thought it was found footage and was from the same year. It was on the Wikipedia list of found footage movies. It wasn't a found footage movie. It was just so low budget that it's not right for this. So I had to try again and think of something else. And I talked about this article I found way back when. There was like 5 unknown found footage movies that you need to see. And on that was Be My Cattle Film for Anne, Hell House LLC, Screamers, and Capture Kill Release. And this is the last one on it. I didn't really want to watch it because it was an anthology movie. And for some reason, I just thought it wasn't my thing. But at this point, I'll take it. I have seen part of VHS, which is another found footage anthology horror movie, and I didn't really like it that much. This one I've heard good things about. It's basically like a series of short films, and they're all found footage. I don't know what to expect and don't really have much else to say, so I'll just jump into it. Okay, that was pretty good. I'm giving The Dark Tapes an 8 out of 10. There were certainly some problems here and there, but overall it had a lot of good things in it. I think one of the interesting things about anthology horror movies is that usually you need something like overarching to tie it all together. VHS did that by having all these tapes you found at the same place. Trick or Treat did that by having this all happen in the same place at the same time, but The Dark Tapes doesn't really do that. There's no particular reason why we would be seeing all 4 of these different separate stories at the same time in a row like this. And I think they could have figured out a way to connect this all together if they really wanted to, so I guess they kind of just wanted this to be an anthology movie instead. Overall, I thought that it was pretty well done. Definitely 2 of the stories were a lot better and higher quality than the other 2. One thing I will say about this movie is that the effects are great. This uses mostly practical effects. There are 2 specific monsters, creatures in this movie that I believe are entirely practical, and they were done very well, one in particular. And when they use CGI here and there, it's very well done and well integrated. Out of all of these short movies, the best one is the first one, the one that's divided up into separate parts and like played as like a buffer in between the other 3 movies. That one definitely tries to go for more like the hard science fiction type of horror, in that it talks about like REM sleep and like different speeds and like the speed of light, human comprehension, stuff like that. Basically, like the way that time seems to go longer in a dream, that sort of means that like if you were to extend that into while you're awake, you can see things with time slowed down, and that means you can see things that are moving too fast or happen too briefly for the naked eye to see normally. It was a little convoluted, but they explained it just fine, and the result was pretty good. The second story was decent. It had a nice setup and a twist at the end that was okay. The third one was probably the weakest. It sort of just happened. The fourth one, I really did like the main actress in it, the one who played the girl named Amanda. She did very well, and a lot of this was set up very nicely. But I think that one of the problems with this movie, I guess, is that the big story, the To Catch a Demon story, is definitely a lot better than the other ones. And you want to see how it goes, but like right when something really interesting is happening, it seems like they interrupt it to play another movie. Since there's no actual connective tissue between these movies, maybe what they should have done was just not even try to do an overarching thing at all and just save that one for last. There isn't really much to talk about without going into spoilers because all 4 of the stories have a very, like, the only thing to really talk about when it comes to how they succeed or fail is involving the ending. So I think to close out the non-spoiler part, I'm just going to say this was a very good effort. I've seen better anthologies. I've also seen worse anthologies. If it interests you, I would check it out. Overall, it was pretty good. Now going into spoiler territory, I want to talk a little bit about the plots of some of these movies. The first complete one is one where it's basically like Paranormal Activity, except it's moving into a new house, and then they bring ghost hunters in. But the twist is there's actually no ghost at all. The couple living in the house faked it, and they used the opportunity to murder the ghost hunting team. Even the daughter that they said was the ghost there, she popped out. She was like, "Oh, hey, can I kill someone too?" And it's very strange. Like, you'd think that this would catch up to them eventually, but apparently this is a regular thing for them. It's kind of weird because the actual, like, Paranormal Activity type of movie they were making was pretty good. It was very well done. Like, I almost kind of wanted to see how that would have ended more than this, like, fake-out twist thing. Then we got Cam Girls, which is, I think, definitely the shortest one, I believe, out of all of them. It's where it's this cam girl, and it starts out seeming normal-ish, and then it just gets weirder and weirder and weirder, and basically she works for a demon. That actually featured a really good CGI effect where the victim was watching the tape, and he got to get something, and in the background you could see these giant black hands coming up over the couch. That was definitely the weakest out of the three. It wasn't my favorite. I mean, the ending, while it wasn't, like, bad, it wasn't really that surprising. The last one, Amanda's Revenge, that was really good. It was, like, this girl who keeps getting abducted by aliens every night in her sleep, and she gets so sick of it that she wants to beat those aliens and get them to leave her alone, and what they do is actually pretty clever. I did like Amanda's character. I liked her performance a lot. Overall, that was the second best one, but To Catch a Demon is the best out of these four. It kind of reminds me of a couple creepypastas that I've read, in like the whole like scientific edge to it. What they do is that by like using a high-speed camera, they're able to catch basically a sleep paralysis demon, except it's not a sleep paralysis demon as in like it's not real. It's actually like a demon who's just like briefly coming into our reality. And the effects that they did to make this demon were top notch. Seriously, it looked great. More science stuff happens, and it ends with them being stuck in the time dilation, where I think they said 1 second could last between, I think, 10 and 1,000 seconds, or 1,000 and 10,000 seconds, or something like that. And it's a lot like stasis. If you've ever seen the anime Kokoku, it's a lot like that, but instead of stasis, everything's just moving really slow. And then we kind of loop back to how this movie started, because it started with two characters I don't even know what their deal is or who they were, and they're coming across the scene of the To Catch a Demon thing happening, and they're trying to figure out what happened. I really feel like this should have either been made into its own full movie, or even in its current form, it should have just been not segmented across this whole movie, because this one was really well done. It had a lot of good ideas into it, great effects, and it was very interesting. But even as is, I thought that The Dark Tapes was pretty good. If you like found footage, I would recommend it. It sort of plays with some of the tropes in found footage, and sort of, it doesn't take itself all that seriously. There are some fun moments in it. I thought that this was pretty good. It wasn't something I was expecting to watch this month. It wasn't even something I thought I was going to be watching, like, this morning, but overall, pretty good. Pretty good. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow.